interwebs. This is Sebastian with F3G2 filming to you live from the back of Famous Faces and Funnies. There's always master plans in the work that are neither masterful nor really plans. And being presented on GonnaGeek.com. Last week I was not here and you were free of listening to me prattle on for 40 minutes because I was at MegaCon making this buco buck because people actually bought my stuff this year. It's crazy, I know.
Madness.
It's not like it was, I was going to say it must have been a slow con, they needed to buy my crap. But there were so many damn people, I think they just ran out of other things to buy. And it's like, oh, we got here 10 minutes into the show, everything's already sold out, we got to buy this guy's books. I think that's what happened. But look on GonnaGeek.com, I'm going to write up a couple little articles, do a little thing with the thing about the con of Mega, and talk to you about what happened there. I got this giant stack of books. I was going to do 2 weeks and try and do the quick one. See, this is F3G2. You guys may not all know FIC. So the show I used to do, we used to do on like special occasions. We would come up with like one-word things for review and stuff. But there was just way too much stuff, and even going through it one word per book was going to take 3 years. So we're going to skip that. We're going to just dive straight in. We got Doc Savage, The Man of Bronze, number 4 from Dynamite. It's good, and the art, I really want to say, Chris Robertson, we know he can write. Stuff is good. Man of Bronze is looking bronzed, at the very least in tan. I don't know if he's, I can't tell with this, whether or not he's in his full-on invulnerable. I mean, we're up to the 70s, so I'm assuming if he's still alive there, that, he's already in full Man of Bronze gear. But, He doesn't have that super slick look where they almost metallic look like they give him, but I just love those aviator pants really. But I don't know how to say this. The artist is I'm gonna go with Bilquis Evely. Bilquis Evely. I don't know if you want the S or not, but it's gorgeous, totally gorgeous. Read that. George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones number 19, also from Dynamite. At this point, you know you're a Game of Thrones fan. I've told you before, I really like the art in this. It's very, I find a lot of it to be much more book influenced than show influenced. Some of it's still not exact either way, but it's they didn't just go, oh, let's try and draw the people in the show. In the show, went with the books, and it's always good to stick with the source material. All right, new stuff. For some reason, all we had were variant covers here. We didn't have any regular Ghost Rider cover. So I've got this weird Death Bunny thing. I don't know what to tell you for the new Ghost Rider. But what I do know to tell you is, I think we can. This is variant series 3 of 6. I don't know what the hell that means. But this is Ghost Rider number 1. It may even say that on here somewhere. Number 1. All right. First off, it's Tradmore on art. So it's freaking amazing, super cool looking, das uber stylized. This is Luther Strode art on Ghost Rider. It's an all new Ghost Rider, okay? Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze are still running around the Marvel Universe doing their own Ghost Rider-y things.
The chick?
Because, I don't know about the chick, I don't even know who she was, I missed that, alright? But there's no problem with the new, they're not replacing, undoing any, they didn't start a new 52 Ghost Riders, or Ghost Rider doesn't make a deal with Mephisto. Well, I mean, he might, because he's got to become Ghost Rider. But he doesn't undo any Ghost Rider-y history. All right, this new guy, Robbie Reyes, possibly related to Jaime. I don't know. Is already cooler than Jaime. This was really freaking good. I didn't know what to make of this. I knew I was going to like the art because I do. But I didn't know. The story was really good. It's a slow burn. It's one of the Marvel slow burns. So by the last page, we sort of get Ghost Rider. And it's a really cool effect for those pictures where they do the super slow aperture. So when the cars are driving by, you get that streak of light, whatever on the, so the highway, you don't see any cars, but you just see the light. They kind of did that with the flaming tires at the end here. It looks gorgeous. But the story's really, I like this new guy. He's not just a kid who gets powers accidentally, though that sort of it does happen. He was already heroic just in no way capable of backing. He's protecting his handicapped little brother. His little brother's in a wheelchair and possibly has some other things going on. And he's protecting him from a bunch of, gang kind of bullies who beat the crap out of him because he's just not able to take him. And then, he's doing he does some stupid and wrong things, trying to look out, but he's already putting himself out there and at risk for the heroism. He just didn't have powers to the end. So it's good. I'm on board. Silver Surfer #1 hooked me at the end. I really loved the little tease. I mean, the Dan Slott Michael Red tease that they did with the cosmic rays, where they're like different colored space manta rays flying around in the universe. And this, by the end, had hooked me, but by the beginning, I wasn't. It's cool and weird. I mean, it's what you'd expect from anything that says all red on it. Even though Slott's writing it, but Slott's got some strange ideas. And there's some stuff that looks like exactly what you'd expect if you said, okay, we're going to have Dan Slott write something that sounds like a Jack Kirby idea as realized by Michael Allred. So if you can process all that, then you get exactly what there's the Empiricon is just a hell of a thing. And it's good, and it's gorgeous. It's all red. It's gorgeous, and by the end of the book, I was having my doubts throughout, but by the end, I will be back for #2. Slott sold me. Speaking of Slott, I said this on Facebook. I said telephones ring right now. That'd be awesome. But this is Superior Spider-Man #30, Goblin Nation Part 4. Talk about nailing the dismount. For all intents and purposes, this is the issue. This is the end of the Superior era. The Superior era of Spider-Man. And Dan Slott did it. I didn't think I was going to like this when Dan Slott started it, and he continually surprised me, entertained me, thrilled me, and made me a Spider fan again. Because the last big change in editorial decision just burnt me out on Spider-Man completely. I didn't give a fuck about one more day, brand new day, any more days. But Superior Spider-Man, I was like, you already killed Peter as far as I'm concerned. How bad could this be? And it was awesome. All right? And this ends it with such... They were feels. They punched me in feels I didn't... Doc Ock feels I didn't know I had. It was amazing. Does it erase the bad and everything that Doc Ock's done? Clearly not. But Doc Ock goes out a hero. He does the right thing for the right reasons in the right way, and beautiful. I salute you, Mr. Slott.
Are you saying he goes out a hero?
Yes, I say he goes out a hero. Larfleeze #9 was just it's got the...
That's still going on.
It's got for a while it's canceled, but I picked it up because of what turns out to be on the last page in here. I picked it up to check it out. All right, there is a guy named Zum, XUM, but his name he's the Zum of all things.
Oh.
So, and Larfleeze ends up saying it out loud. That's one of my favorite parts of the book. Is there is this panel with just. I don't know if you can grab this from your magic hands and show that panel of Larfleeze with the raised eye as he realized, he's like, wait, did you say Zum of all things? And basically his power is he is one with everything, and he can create or unmake everything. And Larfleeze really wants that power because he wants everything. But the real reason I got it, turns out it really starts next issue, and that is, and the end last page of this, we've got Nort. We've got the Nort Green Lantern back in the DCU. So, c'est très bien. Revolutionary War, Omega, final issue, was good. It nicely wraps up this story and kind of sets things up so that if they really want to make a go with the Marvel UK characters in current Marvel, they can. I knew enough of these characters to be moved by some, not moved on like the Dan Slott Doc Ock level, but one of the characters who becomes a hero and then has to make a big sacrifice. He becomes a villain and has to make a big sacrifice when he realizes he's been tricked into villainy. It was all nicely done. But really, the panels that stole it for me are just both Death's Head. It's got Death's Head 2, but they've got him talking. They don't always remember to make him do the Death's Head speech, yes? Not always sure what he's talking about, eh? But, and then you've got regular Death's Head in his last lines. We need to talk about the future, yes? And I love Death's Head. I love original Death's Head. So really, I read through all of these because I like Death's Head and Captain Britain. But it was good. If you gave a crap anything about the Marvel UK, this book is it's like an entire book of Easter eggs that are actually, instead of hidden Easter eggs, it's like Easter Egg Island. They are the plot is just Easter egg on top of Easter egg. Flash number 20. Oh, I folded the book.
No!
Why God? Flash number 29. Augustin Padilla, artist, really good. That's really the only positive thing I can say for this. Flash, he's teaming up with Deadman, who I guess people can see in the New 52. I don't know. Some people can anyway. The Flash.
Be the mystical still.
The Flash can see him. Maybe a vibrational thing, but other people have been talking to him in the other books, so I don't know. I mean, Batman always sort of knew he was there because he's Batman, and even being a ghost, you can't sneak up on him. But apparently, people just talk to him and see him and whatever. But that aside, I just haven't gotten into. I'm waiting for the Flash TV show. That I'll watch because this just hasn't done anything for me, which is interesting. Because also by writer Brian Bacalato is Forever Evil Rogues Rebellion number 6, which may very well, these may be my favorite 6 consecutive issues of anything in the New 52. I want an ongoing Rogues series. The Flash. I want the Flash to be a guest starring, recurring hero taking down the villain. They're not even true villains. They're petty thieves with hearts of gold and delusions of grandeur in equal parts with self-esteem issues. They're just great. And Brian Bacalato, he may not be able to write a Flash that interests me, but he writes the out of these guys. In fact, he should stop doing anything else in the Flash and just put isn't someone else taking over the Flash? Vendetti's taking over the Flash. So the hell with it. But they should put Brian on this and just give him, a Rogues book. I mean, Suicide Squad and Secret Six have been, best-selling concepts in their time, and everybody. The Rogues have their own following already. I know 2 weirdos who will buy every issue and the hardcover and and then the trade, just all of it. So is good, super good. When that trade comes out, I'm buying the hell out of that. Guardians of the Galaxy, Trial of Jean Grey. So damn good. Bendis continues to take his take on the X-Men, the all new, meaning original X-Men. Everything, just like Doc Ock, everything I should hate, like Superior Spider-Man, everything I should hate. No, you can't take them out of the past and do different things with them and break up, Scott and Jean. But no, everything he does that messes what should be their original path, I am completely fine with. It makes it better. It keeps making it better. And there's a lot of that. The Guardians, of course, shine because this is their book, but really the focus here is Jean. And her coming to terms with who she is, and a really great spin on hopefully this will be the last trial of the Phoenix ever, because she's had like 15 trials, and this time she puts this, she's like, why am I the only one? You're saying I'm on trial because I couldn't stop it? None of you could stop it. Nobody stopped it. So why am I on trial for being possessed by a force of nature? You. And then calls Gladiator out because of that whole I wasn't reading the X books at the time, so whatever. But apparently, Gladiator killed all the Gladiator and the Shi'ar killed all the rest of the Greys from the modern, from today's, because there's still Nate and Cable and Rachel. But so apparently, they killed all the Greys without powers and all the Greys that have never possessed the Phoenix. Also, why aren't they going after Quentin Quire, who's been seen to hold the Phoenix in the future and currently? I don't know. It makes no damn sense. But Gene calls them all out on it, and well done there. Upside down comic. Survive. This was so good. This is really just, it's mostly a eulogy for Cap, but really it's a eulogy for the Ultimates universe as we've known it, and sets up beautifully. I'm already set with, of course, Miles Morales, the Ultimate Spider-Man. I'm reading. All right, new Ultimates that has Miles, Cloak and Dagger, and Bombshell. Was Spider-Woman is becoming Black Widow and Kitty Pryde. I'm gonna read the hell out of that. I'm even gonna check out Ultimate FF, their version of like a Future Foundation concept, because it just seems too intriguing not to. So yeah, apparently, once upon a time I never read anything in the Ultimate verse, but again, then they changed out of it, and now I'm reading everything. Who knew? This was so good. It was a better eulogy for Ultimate Cap than we got when 616 Cap died. There's just who wrote this? Bendis. Who knew? There was a time when you used to put a Bendis book in front of me, and I would make a face and be like, "I hate Bendis," because I would read it and nothing would happen, and it was all just the same. But holy crap! When the man's on, and the man's been on for like at least the past 2 years. Basically everything he writes, gold. All new X Factor. What? Warlock and Magus? But Warlock teaming up with Magus? What? What's going on? They're making me like Gambit. Peter David is making me like Gambit. Peter David, who will be writing the greatest comic ever, because they announced today that Peter David's going to write the new Spider-Man 2099 series that will take place with Miguel O'Hara in current timeline, trying to fix it so that his timeline doesn't A, get screwed up, and B, gets changed for the better. So, oh my God, Peter David, creator of Spidey 2099 on Spidey 2099. I'm so happy. All right, Peter David on X Factor. Peter David, who they did a bunch of different X Factors, but it was Peter David who put X Factor on the map. Let's just face that. All right, I like the old Simonson X Factor, but no, baby. And this, everything, just awkward moments with Gambit and with Gambit and Danger, Quicksilver reporting to Havoc. There's so many little touches, and so it's what the Bendis Avengers wanted to be, in so much as it's got a lot of talking, a lot of conversation, a lot of character nuance, whatever, but stuff still happens, and even in the downtime, Peter David is a great juggler of, quote unquote exposition-y downtime versus stuff happening, and making it be both, where you can. Peter David has the gift of the gab, not just in person, but literally that's he's the gift of the gab incarnate. So he can do, comic books are famous for, oh wow, look at all this crazy exposition people are having while they're doing like backflips, but Peter David sells it, so it's brilliant. Read that. Jonah Hex doesn't look well for Jonah Hex's girlfriend, but again, Justin Gray and Jimmy Palmiotti are, I say this every time I review one of their books, the two most underrated writers in comics today. They get to write some of the coolest stuff that not enough people read, and then it goes and people complain, there's never anything different, there's never anything. There is. You're just buying the 400th version of, the 400th X book and the 52nd Superman and or Batman book, and you skipped these. He's back in time. He's got a new face. He's telling stories of his past to his new, now time lost girlfriend, who may just be more lost than time. If things are good, but next issue is return of Tallulah Black, so I don't even care what happens to the girlfriend, because Tallulah is awesome. Amazing X-Men. Nightcrawler's back, but at what cost? At what cost? He's officially back. This is the issue where he comes back, and I know that Nightcrawler book is going to be written by Chris Claremont, which, he's an X-legend, and he loves Nightcrawler, so that's cool. He's also Chris Claremont. And His heyday was 1984. But and also, let's face it, every time I meet that man, I become a little less of a fan. But really, Jason Aaron gets Nightcrawler. These issues, these what is this, 5? This is the 5th issue. It's 5 issues. He just reached in and said, okay, like everybody always talks about, I want to get to really, the central, what makes that character tick. I want to get to I want to get to the iconic, the iconic, concept of this character. But he doesn't say. He just reaches in and goes, oh, here it is, Nightcrawler, ding, and it's beautiful. So, and the art, of course, Ed McGuinness, oh, it's beautiful. And next issue, you get Nightcrawler and Mystique, because he just finished his daddy issue, so now here comes mom. I think she's still his mom in current. I don't know.
Should be.
Ghostbusters Mass Hysteria is Ghostbusters number 14. IDW's Ghostbusters has been awesome. This is no exception. Oh my God, Dana's back. Next issue, the next issue cover is Louis Tully, and is Louis Tully's IT page. He's back. Dana's being repossessed, not by a bank, but by Tiamat. Gozer's sister, Tiamat.
The dragon?
Well, they talk about the fact that Tiamat is in several mythos, and in some she's a dragon, like in Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, like in Dungeons and Dragons. But she's also a goddess, but she's been killed before, so now they don't even know if they're dealing with a goddess or with a god or the ghost of a god, which puts her more in their purview, but doesn't make it any easier to deal with. And it's just so good. And Peter's current on and off again fling is the one that's been sent to deal with Dana, because Dana specifically requests that she doesn't want to see Peter, much like in Ghostbusters 2, which they talk about even. So it's really, really good. Read that. Red Lanterns. Guy Gardner and Superman's apparent first meeting in the New 52, despite the fact that in Justice League International, Guy Gardner spoke all about Superman. But whatever. I'll forgive everything because it's Charles Soule. And this is Guy and Superman discussing Red Lantern, Supergirl. The issue is called Forever, mostly because this is the issue where Supergirl finds out that once you put on a red ring, you don't take that shit off without dying. You need a blue lantern to undo it, and there's currently no blue lanterns. So she's kind of... So that's interesting. But it's Charles Soule. This book has been so good since Charles Soule took over. This book was okay in the beginning. It kind of petered out to I thought it was going to die and be on their canceled list. Then they put in Charles Soule, who literally breathed new... let's go with heart and soul. To the Red Lanterns.
Really?
Oh, so I went there. But it is so good. So damn good. Even the new Guy Gardner look has grown on me. And the Guy Gardner in my head should always look like an orange-haired Mo from the Three Stooges. Hawkeye. First I was like, what? Because it did its usual Hawkeye maneuver of last issue ended with a cliffhanger of Clinton with a freaking arrow through his head. And then suddenly it jumps to Kate Bishop over on the other coast. And I'm like, what? They can't. But it all ties together, and now Kate's on her way to go try and save our boy. And Kate has really managed to make an arch enemy out of Madame Mask. And Nefarious and just, or Neff as they call him. It's just so good. So good. This Kate Bishop is so much better than the Kate Bishop that they never should have included in that last horrible run that people seem to like, but I don't know why. That Kieran Gillen did of Young Avengers. I just try and pretend that never happened. And with this, you can. World's Finest 21, Huntress Power Girl. They open up a portal. They find their world and think it's not their world because there's evil Superman. This was just so good. And now they know that their world's a mess, and they really want to get back, but they don't get back here, and that doorway may not. Let's just say that doorway is not an option anymore. But it's really, really good. World's Finest and Earth 2 have been two of the best books in the New 52, so check those out. Talon number 17. I think this may be the final issue. I don't know, it doesn't say final, there may be like one more or whatever. But this was both the best and worst comic ever. Tim Seeley writes it. I like Tim Seeley. And it's the Lord Deathman who is just nuts, and I love it. But there's a moment in here, and I'm going to spoil the page for you, that depending on your perspective, is either one of the coolest things ever done in a comic or one of the cheesiest, stupidest things ever done in a comic. I happen to feel that it falls perfectly on the line of both. I'm not ashamed to say that cheesy, stupid things are often what I find the coolest things ever. But yeah, while fighting in a filling with ocean cave, yeah, Talon throws a shark at at Lord Deathman. He just hurls the damn shark at him. Not even like a little shark. Apparently that's like he's hurling Jaws. That's like a 20-something foot, several ton gray white, several thousand-pound gray white. Just hurl that fucker.
That's spectacular.
I don't know what to tell you there. Superior Spider-Man team up. Who is this writer? Kevin Shinnick? I don't know who that is, but so damn good. This is Doc Ock teaming, sort of, with Green Goblin. Two egos really clashing. And then, of course, Goblin's nuts. And the next issue will be the other half of this cover, which will be where Spidey and Doc Ock kind of have to team up just against Green Goblin, who's just too crazy for either of them. But it was so good, especially with number 30 coming out. It's just pluck at the Otto Octavius, not the Doc Ock, but the Otto Octavius underneath strings. It's really, really well done. Indestructible Hulk. Is this the final issue? Yes, it is, but next month out comes Hulk. And is it Incredible Hulk or just Hulk? I don't know. No, Hulk number 1. Which will be interesting because this issue ends with, it's not a spoiler, they teased it, and it's the plot for the first one. So this ends with somebody shoots Banner in the head, like right through the head. So that can be a problem for both Hulk and Banner. It wraps up the story with Randall Jessup, is that his little buddy, who is almost like a Hulk-specific parasite. The Terrigen mists have turned him into a big red monster that feeds off of the rage of other people. So he likes hanging with the Hulk. And then Hulk turns into a little Banner, and this red guy's like, "Rrr." But sacrifices are made. Banner and Maria Hill play a mental game of chess to see who's got more power over the other. And then Kaboomy happens. It's Mark Waid, so naturally it is brilliant and one of my faves. Blackout. I don't know if there was a Zero issue that I missed, or if they haven't collected a Zero, but he was in Dark Horse Presents. But because this picks up for a first issue, it's got a little thing on what's happened up till now. But you don't, other than that thing, and even without that thing, you don't need it to figure out anything. You can jump right in like I did, and I love this. There's a guy who found a suit. His uncle is missing. The man who raised him is missing. And the only clue he has is this suit that lets him walk in a very, very cold. The suit has to stay heated. It opens like, in the old Looney Tunes, they throw like a portable hole and they step it. Only once you go through it, you're in between space. So you kind of walk around. He walks around in everything gray. Almost like that effect when Frodo puts the ring on and he's invisible, but you see everything like
out of phase.
Yeah, he's like out, and he walks around in there, but it's like super cold and he can't stay in there too long. But then he can open doors. So basically, it's like beyond invisibility because you're not actually there. He's kind of a little bit out of sync. The catchphrase being "when nowhere is the place to be," and it's really good. And it's this guy. He's got no powers, no advanced knowledge of anything. He's just a guy trying to find his uncle, and getting himself into deeper and deeper and shit
Sounds like Bloom.
with this like uber powerful suit. There's also a cool little backup story of the something tiger, the King Tiger. I don't know who he is, what he is, but apparently vagrants show up with demons sucking on them and like, hey, can you help me? So that's cool as well. Really, really good. Check that out. Serenity. Oh, Jubal early versus everybody. Jubal has the advantage until he gets the mechanic. Kaylee,
Callie.
Callie, and a wrench for Jewel early. So good. It's so. I mean, which Whedon is writing this? Zach. It's so damn good. Because it's just. It literally is. You are reading Firefly, the show. You are reading Serenity. What happens after Serenity. Everything is pitch perfect. Even where George Gente's art, there are some panels where they don't look 100% like themselves, but it doesn't matter because the setting, the surrounding, the scenario, the situation, the mood, the atmosphere, or lack thereof, because they're in space, and the dialogue, you hear all of it in there. It's like you're there. It's so if you're a Serenity, a Firefly fan, this is your book. This is the one you've been waiting for. X-Files conspiracy. It ends and they fix a time loop, and the whole story became pointless. They literally wiped themselves out of time at the end, and nothing you read mattered. Which,
Awesome.
and on the one hand, you could think of it as meta, because most of these kind of crossovers, these little event things, don't always affect much of anything anyway. And the kind where you're mixing different licensed properties can't really affect anything too much. So yeah, this one just kind of undoes itself. But I got my boys, my lone gunmen, so I was happy. The art in this is not. I'm gonna go with not good. It's passable, but it's very stiff, very flat, very kid who really wants to draw comic books in his high school notebook, not very finished, professional, realized comic book art. Bounce 11 and 12 is good, but I think I'm gonna bounce from this series. I mean, it's okay, but it's really
Not the one that you're always confused.
it's holding me. Yeah, it's there's less and less holding me to what. So I think I'm just gonna bounce from that. Deadly Class is kind of the opposite. In Bounce, I always get excited when it comes out, and I think, and then I read it and go, oh. Deadly Class, I always think, why don't I order this again? I should, before, as I'm picking it up to read it, I'm like, I gotta tell Jared when I get to the store, take this off my pull list. And then I get up to like page 3 and realize that shit's staying right there. That ain't going anywhere. It's not leaving my pull list at ever. Alright? So that's good. They're jumping around on rooftops, and their homework assignment is they have to go kill a vagrant. They're looking for a bad one to kill, but by the end, people who seem tough are not so tough. People who seem easygoing have killer instincts. And sometimes, if you can't kill a bad guy, but your assignment is to kill somebody, you just got to pick whoever's around. You know what I'm saying? But it's really, really good. Really, you hear buzzwords like it's character driven, but this really is, and it's all about It's another one of those books that, like, where the action and the exposition are juggled beautifully. Bunker number 2, Joshua Falco. The second one the first one blew me away. Second one, I'm going to give it to the third one. The second one didn't do as much for me. It names all the characters in the front, so I already like it better than what the hell's the
Morning
names?
Glories.
So yeah, Bunker number 2. First one blew me away. Second one, not so much. I'm going to give it to the third one because it's still good. It's just the first one had me really excited, and the second one didn't carry that excitement over. But sometimes that happens with second issues. So we'll wait. Maybe number 3 will blow me away. I don't know. Could happen. I've seen stranger things happen. There is an ad back in the back here for Helheim, the trade, which I would have in the review, but I didn't pick it up yet. It's in my box because I bought other trades instead. So good. Read Helheim. The Wake, really good. I suggest you read this in trade because partway through it has made a jump into the future. It's really good, but I think it'd just be easier to read straight through. I'm going to get the trade and reread the hell out of it. Scott Snyder is brilliant. The art is gorgeous. It's a better, at this point it's turned into a better Waterworld. And I don't just mean better because the bar on Waterworld's pretty low. You can make, you don't have to go that high to make it better. But I mean, this is like a really good Waterworld. This is the Waterworld you'd be like, wow, remember Waterworld? Oh, I bought that. I'm going to go buy that on Blu-ray. Can't wait for the sequel. It'd be that Waterworld. Critter number 19 from Big Dog Inc. featuring Iron Butterfly. The danger and horror that is Iron Butterfly, who's mostly pissed that they're snooping through his stuff, but they were trying to stop Cricket, Agent of Unicorn, from breaking in. So there's a lot of what the hell, and Paradox is really just messing with everybody. He's the ultimate. I can't even call him a villain because he seems to have good intentions, but it's just crazy. Tom Hutchison. This was his first straight up superhero book. Before that, he had and still has the Penny for Your Soul series. And he's got a bunch of other, but this he really puts the fun back in comics. They're funny books again. Who is Iron Butterfly? There's your little who's who page. And next issue number 20 is a beautiful jump on point, and is only $1. So buy number 20. Find out what the hell I'm talking about. Real Heroes number 1. Brian Hitch writes and draws this, so it's beautiful. Basically, I think the best way to describe it is what if instead of making the Avengers movie, somebody made the Ultimates movie, but then the actors who played the Ultimates get sucked into the Ultimate Universe where all of their characters have been killed and now they have to replace them for real. Is basically a very simplified version of what this is. It's good. There were people online who were complaining that because people online like to complain, but there were people online who were complaining that Brian Hitch's characters all look like they get their clothes at their costumes from the same tailor. That's part of what I like about Brian Hitch's artwork is this consistency, and he doesn't overdo it. Like he can put, there's like a movie, the guy called The Patriot is this movie cap style guy in like the helmet and with pads and all these leather pieces, and it has that armored padded look to it, but it doesn't look impossible, and it doesn't look like the New 52 unnecessary seams. These are seams that are actually designed for a purpose and not just as like decoration and clutter like the New 52. I have no problem. You want to add seams and make it make sense. I get that. Give it padded look, armored look. I get that. But for Christ's sakes, study some of that, and don't just throw lines on for no reason to just cloudy the work. He manages to make it look super clean. So, très bien. Amanda Waller, Life or Death. The Amanda Waller one shot was actually surprisingly good. I don't have a lot of faith in one shots, but Jim Zub did it, and he wrote both. He managed to make Amanda Waller still the stone cold bitch that she is, but a human stone cold bitch. Reasons behind stone cold bitch, which was both really cool and kind of sad. It's like seeing behind the curtain. I still miss no powers, short, 400-pound the Wall Amanda Waller, who didn't need powers to stare down Superman and go, what the you gonna do about it? And just go toe to toe with Superman and Batman, and know that what are you gonna do? And she would just stare them down and hold her own, and I miss that. So I think aside from making her thin and hot, now making her humanizing the bitch. It's cool, but at the same time, it takes away important pieces. Forever Evil Argus
Happened.
was a book. Saga Volume 3, best book on the market. Read this. Whoa, I forgot this. Naked Unicorn Chicks. This weird page that just pop up. So good. Lying Cat. Oh, love this book. You should all read this, and you should all read this. Why the hell have you not read Rat Queens? My favorite new Image book. It is so much fun. Their ad has the little image eye and everything. I is for whatever. Theirs is I is for intoxicated. It's you don't have to be a fan of fantasy or Dungeons and Dragons to enjoy this. This is basically an all-female adventuring party in a Dungeons and Dragons-like world. It's my favorite character right there. Oh yeah. So good. And it's just off the walls, irreverent, in your face. It's called Volume 1 is called Sass and Sorcery, and that just sums it up so well. This is Weiss, right? Yeah, Curtis Weiss and Rock Church. Gorgeously stylized. The art is just as fun and energetic as the book. It is brilliant. It is so well done. Read this. And now, in case you can't, for somebody to handle it and give us an intellectual approach to go with these nice new intellectual seats, I should have a smoking jacket. And here's a one of those books without words, books without pictures. Quiet. This is my invisible pipe. You like it? This is James Rollins and Rebecca Kendrick. Look, she gets her name old tiny. James Rollins, Rebecca Kendrick. Innocent Blood. This is the second one of their. Basically, the Vatican has its secret cabal of forget Secret Service. They've got a Secret Service of vampires called Sanguinists, because in the Catholic religion, which I was raised in, it's not a symbol. When you make that prayer, the wine becomes the blood of Christ. So these vampires are able to live off of the blood of Christ, and as a result, it protects them from sunlight. It makes them, every time they drink it, they have to serve a penance. They relive their sins and feel really bad about them. But they're taking on the Strigoi, which, the Strigoi I think are better done, and yes, the TV series is coming, and I can't wait for Guillermo del Toro's, what the hell were those books called?
Oh, Virus,
yeah, it's
The Strain.
It's the same time. But yeah, The Strain I think handled Strigoi better. This makes him still a little more traditional vampire, but it's like Vampire Shield versus Vampire Hydra.
Cool.
This particular one stars the ever controversial historical figure. It's Judas.
Ooh.
Who's like the anti-holy thing, and there's angels, and it's good. I mean, it's kind of one of those, spy thriller by the books, but some of the concepts, especially like I said, that whole vampires who can feed off consecrated wine, that's a really cool concept, and there's some really good concepts in here. So it's a little formulaic, but different enough to to hold me. I read the first one and reviewed that on my old show. I was happy to see this one come, and because Blood Gospel was the first one. There's a third one coming, and it's good. Check that out. And at long last, I will shut up now. I now return you to your regularly scheduled internet. Yeah, that means porn.